Okay, thank you, Brother Bulbulia. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salam ala Rasul Kareem. Brothers and sisters, there are some things that we wish that did not exist, and sometimes we wish we did not have to have certain experiences in life. Today, the topic we are about to explore deals with such a phenomenon. None of us would wish that any of our brothers and sisters were part of the prison population in our country. But the reality is that there are Muslims in prison in Trinidad. Indeed, we are overrepresented in the prison system in that we have a higher percentage of Muslims in prison compared to the percentage of Muslims that exist in Trinidad and Tobago. And so today we have with us Brother Mtima Solowazi, who holds a BSc in psychology with a minor in criminology and sociology. He's a member of the Islamic Resource Society, and he's a very active youth activist in Trinidad. And today he would explore the topic for us, Muslims in prison. So I have pleasure in inviting Brother Mtima to the microphone.
Assalamu alaikum. In Trinidad, there's big noise here. How can you see that far? Muslims in prison. Okay. Muslims in prison? Yeah. You could just move the. No, good here. No. Good here.
Go there.
Okay. As he mentioned in his introduction, the population in Trinidad, in terms of the Muslims in prison, is higher than the population, the national population. That is not just the case in Trinidad, and you'll see as we go along. So I began with this verse: "Ye are the best of peoples evolved for mankind, enjoining what is right, forbidding what is wrong, and believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala." So we look at the Muslim population in prisons in certain jurisdictions, and we see in Britain 1 in 5 inmates at maximum prisons are Muslim, and this represents 20%. Is a 20% prison population compared to 5% national population. In France, of the 64,000 prisoners, 60% are Muslims. And the Muslim population in France is 8%. Likewise in the US, Muslims comprise of 9% of the population. The Muslim population, the prison population is 1.5 million. And the Muslim population in the US, as of 2010, stood at 0.8%. And in India, there is 15.8% in terms of convicts. Under trials, 20.9%, compared to a national population of 14.2%. So we see we have a problem in terms of Muslims in prison. Why? That's a good question. And there are many theories for the rise of Muslims in prison worldwide, and we cannot count out various criminal offenses because unfortunately some Muslims engage in criminal activities, be it at the gang level or otherwise. We also have, as I mentioned, gang affiliation. So in prison, the challenge with the prison population we'll see later on. Sometimes a person would go into prison a non-Muslim, and because they recognize that the Muslim in prisons, quote unquote, run things in the prison, they control, be it on a criminal level or not, they associate themselves with the Muslim and say, well, he's a Muslim too. You know, I've seen that many times. Profiling, right, and we had this problem recently, right here in Trinidad in 2010, in the state of emergency, where they just round up a whole set of persons, amongst them a lot of Muslims. Conspiracy, conversion, people actually convert to Islam in prison. We know of many high-profile persons in the US, notably Malcolm X, right, and others. Radicalization and protection, which I cannot rule out. And this is a quotation from a Muslim revert, and he is saying that to understand, before I read out this, probably some of you done reading already, I'll go back. I want to ask a question, and you could show hands if you don't want to show hands. Who here has ever visited, not as a prisoner, but visited a prison in your jurisdiction or anywhere else in the world? Could you raise your hands? Right. Hey, see my army there, boy. Right, so we could have an understanding of the culture, because you need to understand the culture of the prison. And if you don't understand the culture of the prison, you will diagnose or prescribe the wrong treatment. So this guy is saying that to understand what it means to be Muslim while doing time, or what it means when a prisoner converts to Islam while behind bars, we must understand what happens inside many of the prisons. He's speaking from a US perspective, a US context. A prison, for the most part, is a place where some of the worst people in society are allowed to victimize each other. Firstly, things that are frowned upon in the free world are common occurrences in this place of pure hatred and segregation. He went on to say, drug use, homosexuality, gang violence, and racism are no longer vices, but simply a way to survive. While a man locked up for rape is shunned by society, an inmate who rapes another is often looked up to or feared. Fights, stabbing, harassment from correctional officers happens every day in prisons across the nation. There's Dawood Burgess. And we know, in terms of the criteria to be a leader in Islam, is plain in terms of you must have knowledge and stuff like that. In prison, the person who is seen as the Amir or the leader, in most cases, is either one, the baddest prisoner, or two, the person of the most, what they refer to as ghosts, who kill the most people, or what the biggest guns. Right? And that is the criteria for leadership in a lot of the prisons. At least in my experience within Trinidad, that has been the criteria of those who lead in charge. They may not lead the prayer, because some of them may not be able to pray, but they're in charge. And look at this other verse. Bismillah. Verily this brotherhood of yours is a single brotherhood, and I am your Lord and cherisher, therefore serve me and no other. To understand again the culture of what happens in the prison, we have to match it to what's happening outside. And there's a lot of divisiveness in the Muslim community, not just here, because this is Dawood quoting again. The saddest part of leaving prison when entering a community of Muslims, where most people have a chip on their shoulder. While I read verses of the Quran about brotherhood and unity, what I saw in many cases was a look of pure hatred when a brother looked into my face, if he even bothered. And I should also point out that this guy is a Caucasian person in the US. So he doesn't himself what they refer to as blacks or browns, or the case may be. And he's facing this level of discrimination. And we have that in the Muslim community. And let me tell you something. What happens in the prison is a reflection of what happens outside society, vice versa. We have a serious problem with gang violence in the prison, in our society here. And I was speaking with a counselor recently, yesterday, day before, Thursday, and I said, boy, what really going on right now, boy? He said, hey, a lot of those murders calling from inside. So the shots calling from inside, right? And our divisiveness here fuels a lot of hatred and resentment inside, right? So we have to fix how we relate to each other here if we want to apply an anecdote to what's happening in the prison. So I did an article some years ago. Most of you all would be familiar with this magazine. It no longer exists. It's called Muslim Behind Bars. And we look at TNT perspective, but to understand that, we have to understand the gang culture. So this is how we face it right now at present in Trinidad and Tobago. One group calling themselves Muslim City. I didn't give them that name. They would just spray paint on the wall in an area in John Laventille. And the other is Rasta City. Right? Two groups of young men fighting and killing each other. One for drugs, for government state contract, for women, for what Elijah Anderson referred to as threat to cares. So these are some things that some fellows will hold dear to them, like a steer. We may not understand how encroaching a steer is to some men on the streets, right? So you hear two young men get in a conflict. Just right out there, on the bus route, a young man was stabbed to death. Why? Because he was staring at two other young boys, three schoolboys, one staring at the other, and they stabbed him to death. And you might say, a stare? But that is what some people take very personally. Don't watch me, you know? Because you're watching me come like you're coming in my space, right? So this is what we face with right now. Now, Don Townsend did a survey in 2009, and in his survey he claimed that East Port of Spain is one of the most dangerous places in the world, more dangerous than Baghdad, you know? And we continue to face a lot of gang violence on the streets that is also taking place in the prison, that is influenced by what is in the prison. So it has that connection. He also went on to refer to certain organizations locally as contributors based on his research towards the gang culture. I place XXX because I don't want nobody to come here and say, I say this, like Don Townsend talking here, right? But he made connection to certain local organizations as being directly or indirectly supporting that gang culture. So I want to look at the Muslim chaplain service or what is being offered as a Muslim chaplain. And at least for here, I'm not sure in other jurisdictions, they are given a stipend by the government. Is it so in other jurisdictions? No? Okay, well, Trinidad, nice. They're given a stipend here. They play a major role in the rehabilitation of the prison inmates. Prison chaplains not only act as religious leaders, but also as teachers, fathers, role model, guidance counselors, and friends. You know, you could get very intimate and close with these inmates. In addition, the prison chaplain also acts as a sort of mediator between the inmates and the prison authorities. And in also cases, sometimes the families outside. They are advocates of the faith. They try to ensure that the followers adhere to the faith, encourage them in the observance and practices of their religious duties. And most often they are accompanied by members of the organization to take part in services and others. Now in Trinidad, ASJA has officially held this position for over 2 decades. They are the official prison chaplain, the ASJA organization, and German Senator Jama Association. And I must say, in Trinidad, we have the Youth Training Center. It's a juvenile institution for young offending males between, let's say, 16 to 19, right? We also have St. Jude's School for Girls, kind of the equivalent to YTC. Still on youth, we have St. Michael's School for Boys, so under 16. And in some cases, they got to 18 in St. Michael's School for Boys, right? That's in Diego Martin. And in the adult population, we have the Port of Spain, remand and convicted prison. We have Golden Grove, remand and convicted. We have in Santa Rosa, we have Carrera over the sea. I think we have a prison in Tobago. So I'm saying this to say this. I have been proposing that I don't think one organization could really effectively serve this vast population. Sometimes it's very difficult. I'm in YTC, and I didn't make Juma there Friday. I made Juma Don't Mind Me Friday in my community, because I had other things to do right after Juma. So it's sometimes difficult for especially one person to be going around to all these different institutions, and sometimes it may just be in one prison, and so other prisons are neglected. So again, for us to properly serve the prison population, we have to come together. So in an article published, as I said, in the Caribbean Muslim Standard back in 1997, I did an interview some of the prisoners. I was assisted by one Mr. Gordon Husbands. He is now retired, right? And I was put on to Mr. Gordon Husbands by my imam, sitting right there, Kwesi Atiba. I asked him who I should talk to. He said, speak to Gordon Husbands. He's a gentleman. And I told Mr. Husbands that, and I got access to get interviews with some of the prisoners. And this is what they requested back in 1997. They wanted to perform the Juma prayer in congregation. They wanted to observe the Ramadan fast. And they wanted a library facility. So a meeting was held with officials in 1997 in December, and 2 of the 3 points were granted: Juma and observance of the Ramadan fast. Following that, the Sis Faiz Amin, the then chairman of the UIO, and Dr. Mansour Ibrahim, the then president of ASJA, had a meeting with the then commissioner and deputy commissioner of prisons, and a 6-point plan was developed. The appointment of additional chaplains or assistants, including a Muslim woman. Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't mention the woman prison in Golden Grove, to deal with the female Muslim prisoners. The establishment of a Muslim prisoners fund, sourcing appropriate Islamic literature, setting up of a Muslim prisoners committee or secretariat, increased support, financial otherwise, and encouraging young educating young Muslims about the rigors of prison life. I want to ask that question here first. You think any of these points came to fruition? Anybody here? Local, Farid laughing. Farid, what? Unfortunately, none. Here why? The Muslim Coalition Council was disbanded. That was ASJAD, TML, which we are here, and TIE. ASJAD since changed leadership. Faizamin died, but the UIO died long before Faizamin died. And we are at this state we are at right now today. Right? 6 lovely points that were developed, none implemented. So the call to service, a social activist response. Lack of Muslim volunteers in prison programs is another area where we need improvement. This is a worldwide thing, people. Creating viable models of prison outreach and identifying Muslim communities that could incorporate these programs would serve inmates, help prison chaplaincy programs, and connect outside communities to meaningful social activism. That makes sense?
Yep.
Right, at least one person saying yeah. So, who answered this call? A little lady with a big heart, Nisa Halin. She's here. A little lady with a big heart, a housewife, retiree, has been going to the women's prison for years. And she has pulling a team of other young sisters to assist her. You know? So kudos to this sister. And myself has been in YTC since 2004. So I want to look at the YTC model. It's called CLIP. C-L-I-P. I like acronyms. And all them youth men and them want to move it at CLIP. There's my CLIP and there's my CLIP. Right? CLIP as a little gang, as a little unit. And also CLIP in the gun. The CLIP, the magazine CLIP. But this CLIP means changing. Continue. Changing lives and people. I want to say all is still sleeping. Changing lives and people. So what we do? We have the weekly Friday prayers, observance of the Ramadan fast, right? And Allah has blessed YTC so much that we always have a Muslim lad who working in the kitchen. So he's responsible for ensuring now that men get a suhoor and iftar and stuff like that, right? And make sure that the meat's halal and stuff like that. We do the 2 Eid prayers, right? I performed the Eid prayer with them this year. And we also have an Eid celebration. So after that we go in and have a little, I like to call it party, but you know this party without alcohol and juice and drumming and just niceness. But this celebration now is for the entire population. And what we do, we have our lads, the Muslim lads, serve the population. So you are inviting guests to Bayou. You know, so these lads will organize the area, serve, and we'll eat last, and we'll treat our guests. We do shahada for those who so desire, audiovisual sessions, distribution publications. I'm in the spoken word, so we have spoken word workshops, and we have something called mail call. Male Call is where we have poets from all over the world. They come to Trinidad for an event called Cascadoo. It's held in August annually, and we take those poets to YTC and spend an entire day with the lads. Counseling and mentoring and rites of passage ceremony for re-entry into society. Right. I want to look at the rites of passage ceremony. This is very important. So, now number one, I don't ask my boys what they charge for. I'm not interested in that. I'm not impressed by that. That's not important for me. What is important for me is what they do when they leave that institution after however length of period they stay in the institution. So, I ask them what they like to eat. Because when you're going to get hung in the prison, and just get a last meal, and a meal that you want, so I give you your first meal when you're leaving the institution, where you want to eat. And I tell them, call where you want to eat. I remember a guy say he want pizza. I say, aha. The length of time he in prison, Pizza Hut didn't come yet. He know Mario's. I buy Pizza Hut. He watching the breadsticks all time so. Brother Njima, what is this? And I start to laugh. I say, in jail too long. I breadsticks. Right? So it's a little funny that too. Men just want oil down, they want this. No, we are trying to give it to them. And then now they have, so what I do, after the Juma, they will sit on right, on that area there, and I go down in the congregation. So they become like the one in charge then. And they have to say, what life lessons have they learned during their stay? What life lessons have you learned? 2, what did somebody say to you, or what did somebody do that impacted your life positively? And the third one, where is your plan? What is your plan? Because outside of these 3 questions or 3 statements, when people leave prison, what does do? There's an area in West Trinidad called Carenage, they have a beach. So just go Carenage and take a sea bath to beat off the blight. And then they change your clothes one time, so you have a fresh kit. So I come out of jail in this, I go on Carenage, I take a sea bath to beat off the blight, I put on a fresh kit now. 1, well, take out the blight like, how do you say blight, boy? Like,
bad luck.
Yeah, like omen, some kind of bad luck. Because as far as some men concerned, they never do the crime, Somebody set them up, and so that was omen and bad luck. So you beat off that bad luck. 1. 2, you eat a roti. Because you don't get roti in prison, you come out and you eat a roti, probably a big red soft drink. And the third thing you do, what do you think is the third thing you just do? Is a man locked up in jail for long. No woman here. So when they come out, you have to get a little flesh. So men, take a sea bath, beat off the blight, eat a roti, and sleep with a woman. On the street they say brush. Say, brush a girl. You're bound to end back up in prison. If that is your plan when you leave prison. Right? So I need to know what is this young man's plan. And the other lads have to say something positive to them. And I tell them plain, I don't want to hear freedom is a must, enough strength, hold it down. I don't want to hear that. Tell your brother something meaningful. Let me tell you something, brothers and sisters. I have seen lads cry doing this. I've seen young men come to tears because it is hard to express that level of positive emotions, especially to the next man. You understand? I've seen young men cry. Hey, you're done? Hey, I finished so fast. Right? So this is what we do at the YTC. Sister Niza does a lot of good work. Asja also does a lot of good work. But more can be done. More can be done because we're having a serious problem with that gang culture. I was showing my imam yesterday. I got a text from the superintendent of YTC. He said, Mtima, I need your help. The Rasta city, Muslim city, war brewing again in YTC. You know? I have had to deal with that for as long as this war going on. And I'll say something. In the earlier part of last year, I think, the Rasta city guys were more the aggressors. Real dangerous. Listen, when I go Juma, my boys will show me the face swollen, right? Because when they're going to pray, these fellas kicking them in the head. And in some cases, they have a dorm, and the dorm has about 15 lads in it. 14 lads are Rasta city, and the prison officials put in one Muslim in that environment. So when my boys complain to me, I don't want to add to their aggression or anger, so I will say, why are they doing that? And try to be very calm. But inside I rage in with anger. I will go and tell the prison officials, take my boys out of that cell. You can't have one, you know there's a war going on, unless they put in my boy there to die. They open the Quran, they say to me, look, them fellas writing Rasta city in the Quran. Disrespectful. And I will say, keep a calm demeanor, because these are young men who charge for murder. All I don't ask them, I know what they charge for, most of them. And you're trying to tell somebody who charge for murder, take your time, don't fight. No? I remember the time of the Prophet upon them in the Meccan period. No, don't fight, don't fight. Man is feeling weak, but don't fight. And let me tell you something, it went right down to nearly zero. And guess what? I went to Juma Friday, I had about 6 lads. The next Friday, I have 17 young men. I jump. I say, what? Hearing one of my boys on his breath saying, Mtima don't like crowd, you know. Watch Mtima face. Because I'm not on crowd. And if it have 17 young men, that means, I always tell my boys, you're not on a scholarship. You did something wrong. And 11 boys came in, some from Enterprise and all different parts of the country. And then the fight went right back up. Guess what now? Who do you think is the aggressors? Who's the aggressors now? The Muslim. Well, I just let them know, I'm not no gangster, but if they like gangster talk, I'm more gangster than you. I tell them, I don't want that. And if you have to have that type of behavior, it's best to don't come Juma. It's best to don't come to Juma if that is your conduct. So sometimes we have to be very firm if we want to bring about some type of behavioral change. So I think I could stop there. I'm not sure if there's a question and answer something. So open the floor for any questions, comments, suggestions, because when I was told about this topic and this conference, I was saying to myself, I only hope it is not another what? Yes, talk shop. Because Muslims, we like to talk. You understand? We love to talk. We get old talking. You know? We got to come together for action now. When I know Suleiman Bulbulia, his head was black. Mine was black too. I take ball as well. And when my hair grows, I hide it. I can't hide the beard. You understand? And look, we're grey now. We can't be still talking. So this is good, but I would like to know what can come out of this, because whatever jurisdiction you're from, we have a situation with Muslims in prisons. The Christians that do a real good job. They have all kind of programs. You know about Wayne Chance? Come now, man. Why Wayne Chance alone? We know what we should be doing. Wayne Chance doing a lot of good work. Why the Muslims can't do that? You understand? So the floor is open. Let me hear you. Anybody?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Was it level of reception in the Muslim population?
Right, good question. And I noticed I quote statistics for different countries. The reason why, two reasons why I didn't have statistics for Trinidad. You see, two groups are put up there, Rasta and Muslim. The gangs are very fluid. You could be Muslim today and Rasta tomorrow. Because it's based on gang, not no ideology. What has happened, I have some success stories. I also have boys who left YTC and ended up in the adult prison. Some ended up killed. You know, when I get the news, I feel real sad, right? Why we may have, and I feel we have a high recidivism rate, because we don't have a proper aftercare program in Trinidad. And I'm not just talking about the Muslims, I'm talking about nationally. So right now, some pastors, I'm in a WhatsApp group, with pastors. Some pastors organizing to have this aftercare program, so they did training, right? I sent my wife to the training and two other Muslims, right? Because we need to get the knowledge and the skill if you want to talk about aftercare, but we do have a proper aftercare program. So yes, without quoting percentages, I think it's very high.
Yeah, clearly, if you look at the cause of the rise of the number of Muslims in the prisons, it will be from the homes. So what have you been doing to inculcate the moral or the vigor to help the parents, especially, and the opinion leaders in the community to help impact positive values about the youth in our various communities? What have you been?
You all heard this question, right? A very good question. He was asking, if you have a problem with Muslims in prisons, we have a problem with the homes. And what have we been doing to help the homes to create that environment of positive values? Some years ago, I could call his name, Ahmad Baliwa from Mayas. Most of you know Ahmad Baliwa. He said, it's not enough to have Muslim children. You have to teach them Islam. Right? Prior to being a Muslim, I was an Anglican. And I learned about my Anglican religion when I became a Muslim doing comparative religion with Quincy Atiba. So I was just going to church on Sunday, get my communion, drink my wine, and all the other things that are associated with religious observances. But I knew nothing about my religion. And we have some Muslim children growing up, have a Muslim name, Muslim parents, going to a Muslim school, and that's about it. Right? So we have to teach our children Islam, number one. Number two, for that question, you see that rites of passage? That's a very important component. You have young men like myself who have come from a culture of the street. If you don't prepare young men who came, now the street is a lifestyle. There's a lifestyle, there's a way of life on the street. Islam is a way of life. If persons from the street coming into Islam not oriented properly, it's more than just teaching a man to make wudu. You have to pray and fast in Ramadan. Because you have a praying, fasting Ramadan wudu maker who selling drugs, who robbing people, because that's the culture he comes from. So we have to create programs now to help transition those persons who have come from the street with that culture, with that lifestyle, into the lifestyle of Islam. We have to do it. Without that, we'll have that problem. So, in the home, and we have to have a proper transitioning program. And somebody, yeah. Oh, you have a mic. You have a mic. Assalamu alaikum. Assalam.
Brother, two things. Can you tell me how you pronounce your first name again?
Oh, Emtima.
Emtima, could you come back to the East Side? Right. I think,
No, that's not.
again, go back. Again,
Why not going back?
again. Stop right.
Right.
Listen to the discourse. Sort of reminded me of a book I once read about Los Angeles and right, where there were two main gangs, the Bloods and the Crips.
Mm-hmm.
And they were, Los Angeles was literally a war zone, even in business districts. The killings that took place there was absolutely ridiculous. Nothing the FBI could have stopped that gap. Somewhere inside there, two gang leaders decided they had enough of this, but I was inside, and decided to come together to start the talk peace. And this is a true story. One of them actually lost their son. I think one he got a blood, but he lost his son to a crip, gunshot.
Yeah.
But he went ahead still, despite that pain, to try to make peace, which I think still holds today. Now, gang warfare is plaguing our society. And I want to say that we need to fight to get back those, is it 6 proposals?
Yeah.
Back into the front burner, because our society is fully decayed going to this level of criminality. I don't need to say this, we know what's going on.
Yeah.
All of us, at least in Trinidad, are really famous. But what I think is happening, brother, is that we need to take some of these proposals and some others in the whole context of penal reform. There's been a lot of talk about penal reform, a lot of talk about changing ways things are done in prison, and it remains one thing, as you said, a lot of talk. I think the Muslim community could put pressure on whoever is responsible for the prisons, some type of lateral pressure to bring some of these, at least these first, and then the wider context of penal reform. That's the first thing. I just want to say, the doctor said,
Yeah.
I attended a human resource conference some years ago, and a question was asked to the whole audience of professionals. Would you, in charge of your organization, hire someone who has been to prison? If you would hire that person, should make a show of this. Out of 250 delegates, 3 people put up their hands. And that forced me to search myself. Because as an individual, if I do something wrong, I want to forgive me too. I'm only speaking for me. So why can't we forgive others if Allah forgives? Who is me? I am nothing, really. So the part you talk about the transition of young people or people from the prison system to mainstream society is very important. That have to constitute part of penal reform.
Yeah.
My name is Jack. I am born a Muslim. I'm a father Muslim. But, yeah, I'm a religious. But, one day I was looking at YouTube. My wife was looking for a video. I'm finding out now.
Yeah.
And they were talking about the second type of Islam, which is Umar, Sheikh Umar. But there was a quote at the end of that, because Sheikh Umar in his heart was a warrior. He settled his disputes with the sword. He was a very strong figure they would want to cross for that kind-hearted man. But it is said at the end, and that quote still back in my words are saying, it is those of us with the worst past that create the best of it. I think we need to start off with that plan, my brother, and really push back for these reforms, and at the same time push the wider context of the country.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
The question was concerning education. You have an educational program in the prison. I would suggest
Education.
you have a lot of time. Not everybody will be like economics.
Okay.
If you can get to have some program, whatever it can be, CXC, examination for the Muslims. And it is beyond when they come out
Education.
employment. Likewise, those who make Muslim requirement in the restaurant. Yeah. Muslim home, where Muslim the opportunity of time and restaurant. So it's something that we should have looked into our operational aspect of inmates as a solution.
Okay, take one more, then I'll just try to answer. No, just better behind, just on it. Better behind your face, and I will take it. Sorry. Alaikum assalam. Proposal there? Okay. No problem. That's okay. Tell that brother.
I would just like to know if from your part how you are addressing the anger problem, because it is an anger problem with the youth nowadays. It's not only here in that, it's actually all over the world. The language they speak, the way they express themselves, sometimes they are misunderstood.
Yes.
So we have to know how to deal with them when they accept Islam, and we should have programs to nurture them in the right way, that they will remain in the environment as long as possible until they can really build enough roots or the strength or the courage to stand up as a Muslim and realize that the life is simple and it's something internal that we have to fix. It's an internal problem. It's not just here. You see it all over the region and even in the development as well. So it's an anger problem. Like you mentioned about the Rasta and the Muslims. It's so strange because in the Dutch Caribbean, actually the Rastas have a lot of respect for the Muslims and they always call us brothers. So it's good to know that because they get like say a Rasta and I call you my brother and he might look at me different.
But it's not, my say it's not ideology, eh? So somebody fellas who is Rasta City are baldhead. Somebody men who say this Muslim City have dreadlocks. I just laugh. It's about gang, yeah? Alright. So let me just answer this quickly. With the last one, the anger. So I just want to share an anecdote, and yes, it's a serious anger problem. Two of my boys fought, right? And one stabbed one. He almost died. So they locked away two of them in what we call detention unit now. Solitary confinement. And they came out after a long period. I never addressed the issue, and I'll be honest with you guys, you all brothers and sisters, I didn't know how to address it. So I did what some of us do in society. I hope it died a natural death. Right? So I'll come to Juma, we'll just interact, and these two guys will just stay apart. And one day, one of my boys said, "But Juma, did you know this today? Did you know this today?" Just so. And I said, "Yeah, boy." I said, "I'm laughing too much." I said, "Listen, everybody sit down." I didn't know what I was going to do. I had them sitting in a circle. I pointed at one, the one who did the stabbing. I said, "Listen to me. I need to know," I said, "we need to know what happened on that day." But I said, "Listen to me. I need to know what happened." And he said that so let's say he's X and the next guy is Y. He said that he heard Y said something about him, right? And that's what made him approach him. When I asked why, hear what he said. That morning, he got some bad news from the free world. So his mind was messed up. So when X approached him, right, he just responded to how he was feeling. And both of them fought. Only to find out that Y never said what X thought he said. And if you see how like the whole tension was just broken and men said hug up and stuff like that. And I felt bad about myself because we never, all I say too much talk, yes, need to talk. And we never spoke about it, we just left it. The education, that same guy who did the stabbing, remember I said some people come embrace Islam because of protection and gang affiliation? When he was on remand, he was a non-Muslim and he was very advantageous. Very, very advantageous. When he got convicted, he decided to embrace Islam because he wanted to have that protection, because men in the convicted side were saying, we just wait until they come over. Right? So, when he got convicted now, he took Shahada, then he told me he's going to appeal the case. I said, listen to me, you're a fool or what? I said, do your jail, make it 4 years and go to school. Today, he is leaving in October this year. He has a full certificate because he went back to school. He's an artist. He is one of the most happiest young men in YDC right now. He's also working because they go out and work. So he's telling me the other day, he say, but Mtima, you ain't asking me how my first day was at work. I said, I ain't drink no Malta yet. You understand? I said, when I get a Malta to drink, I would ask you. He laughed. I said, how is your first day at work? He said, work is very good. And he said it just like that. And I told him, once you accept that work is very good, you will not rob, you will not sell drugs, and penal reform. When a young man is arrested, anybody is arrested and taken to prison on remand, especially for a capital offense, they spend at least 10 years in the remand before they get a date to face the magistrate. 10 calendar years. I have lads who have spent 10, right now they transfer him to Golden Grove, right? He was 17 years when he committed murder. Some guys attacked him and he stabbed one and killed him. He's 27, right? He's 27, and they're going to sentence him to probably life over the case will be. So we went writing a lot of letters to the magistrate, to the judge, to get leniency for him, right? I know lads in prison at 7 years for capital offenses. They will face the magistrate at 17 years. The conversations will be different. When you're on remand, you spend 23 hours in a cell and 1 hour for hearing. You sit down for 23 hours in a cell. You come outside 1 hour for hearing. They're going to be very angry. We had to fix that prison system. It's a mess. And we're damaging our young people. I mentioned St. Jude's School for Girls. We say it's a bad girls. The largest population of girls in St. Jude's are girls who have been raped by either some family member or somebody else, and they put them there for their protection. So I am raped and you institutionalize me. The state takeover, St. Jude's is run by some Catholics. The state take over St. Jude's. If I take you to St. Jude's now, it's the worst. They have barbed wire fencing. It's like a prison now. And I'm a rape victim. So I think we have it all mixed up in Trinidad and Tobago. I hope that we can really do something. Yes, I know the Round Table. I'm part of the Round Table. We had a meeting recently with some person from John Jay College with a program called Prison to college pipeline, because we know about the school to prison pipeline, right? And this same young man who's living in October, I'm trying to get him into Costa because he loves art, right? But I still, Costa is a community college, right? That focus on science, technology, and they also do like psychology and stuff. Associate degrees, right? So, with terms of literacy, they have literacy programs in the prison, right? I don't think that is much of such a big problem, because they do school leaving, they do what we call the CSEC. One of my boys today is a lawyer, he's working in a lawyer's office. While so at YTC, he was doing law at UE, right? So we have those opportunities. It's just to give them that encouragement, right? But as I said, we really have to come together, and I think really and truly we could put back these things on the front burner and see where it can go, probably as a collective body. So thank you very much.
Okay, I'd like to say thank you very much to Brother Mdima for addressing a topic that is so very unpleasant. It deals with so much unpleasantness, trouble. It troubles our hearts. But the reality is we have a very huge problem in our societies. I think Brother Mdima, raised some of the issues that are gaps in how we deal with prisoners in the prison system. And I think, this issue of prison, Muslims in prison and, people in prison really requires a whole conference in itself to be able to address the issue properly. Today, he simply gave us a little insight into this huge problem. So thanks again, Brother Mdima. And brothers and sisters, I think it's close to the time for Salat al-Maghrib. So we can perhaps, break now and go to the masjid for Salat al-Maghrib. Let's close with the dua kafara. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.